and began to clear the fireplace of ashes. Was she the one? I tried to remember. It had been dark that night behind the stables. She was fatter than I recalled, and sullen with her heavy brow, but her face was sweet enough. It was worth a word. "Stay a moment," I said, when she had pulled herself up clumsily and made her way to the door. "Sit and rest your feet. I'll tell you a story." The girl stopped with a jolt. "You mean the story of the unicorn?" She was the one. I opened my mouth to answer, but the girl jumped in before me. "Does the story go on to say that the woman grows big with child and may lose her place? Is that what happens?" So that was why she was fat. I turned back to the window. "You should have taken more care." "I shouldn't have listened to you, is what I should have done. I should have shoved your tongue right up your arse. Out you go now, there's a good girl. Here." I dug into my pocket, pulled out a few coins, and threw them onto the table, to help with the baby. The girl stepped across the room and spat in my face. By the time I'd wiped the spittle from my eyes, she was gone. So were the coins. Jean le Viste came in soon after, followed by Léon le Vieux. Most patrons use a merchant like Léon to act as middleman, haggling over terms, drawing up the contract, providing initial money and materials, making sure the work gets done. I'd already had dealings with the old merchant over coats of arms painted for a chimney breast, an annunciation for the chamber of Jean le Viste's wife, and some stained glass for the chapel in their château near Lyon. Léon is much favoured by the le Vistes. I have respect for him, but I cannot like him. He is from a family that were once Jews. He makes no secret of it, but has used it to his advantage, for Jean le Viste is also from a family much changed over time. That is why he prefers Léon. They are both outsiders who have made their way in. Of course, Léon is careful to attend Mass 2 or 3 times a week at Notre-Dame, where many will see him, just as Jean le Viste takes care to act a true noble, commissioning works for his house, entertaining lavishly, bowing and scraping to his king. Léon was looking at me, smiling through his beard, as if he had spotted a monkey on my back. I turned to Jean le Viste. "Bonjour, monseigneur. You wished to see me?" I bowed so low my head throbbed. It never hurt to bow low. Jean le Viste's jaw is like a hatchet, his eyes like knife blades. They flicked around the room now, then rested on the window over my shoulder. "I want to discuss a commission with you, Nicolas des Innocents," he said, pulling at the sleeves of his robe, which was trimmed with rabbit fur, and dyed the deep red lawyers wear, "for this room." I glanced around the room, keeping my face clear of thoughts. It was best to be so with Jean le Viste. "What did you have in mind, monseigneur?" "Tapestries." I noted the plural. "Perhaps a set of your coat of arms to hang either side of the door?" Jean le Viste grimaced. I wished I hadn't spoken. "I want tapestries to cover all of the walls." "All of them?" "Yes." I looked around the room once again, more carefully this time. The grande salle was at least 10 paces long and 5 wide. Its walls were very thick, the local stone rough and grey. 3 windows were cut into one of the long walls, and the hearth took up half of one of the end walls. Tapestries to line the room could take a weaver several years. "What would you have as the subject, monseigneur?" I had designed one tapestry for Jean le Viste, a coat of arms, of course. It had been simple enough, scaling up the coat of arms to tapestry size, and designing a bit of background greenery around it. Jean le Viste folded his arms over his chest. "Last year, I was made president of the Cour des Aides." The position meant nothing to me, but I knew what I should say. "Yes, monseigneur, that is a great honor to you and your family." Léon rolled his eyes to the carved ceiling, while Jean le Viste waved his hand as if he were ridding the room of smoke. Everything I said seemed to annoy him. "I want to celebrate the achievement with a set of tapestries. I've been saving this room for a special occasion." This time I waited. "Of course, it is essential that the family coat of arms be displayed." "Of course, monseigneur." Then Jean le Viste surprised me, but not on its own. There are already many examples of the coat of arms alone, here as well as in the rest of the house. He gestured at the arms over the door and hearth, and to some carved in the ceiling beams that I hadn't noticed before. No, I wanted to be part of a larger scene, to reflect my place at the heart of the court. A procession, perhaps? A battle. A battle? Yes, the Battle of Nancy. I kept my face thoughtful. I even smiled a little, but in truth, I knew little of battles, and nothing of this one at Nancy, of who had been there, who had been killed, and who had won. I'd seen paintings of battles, but never done one myself. Horses, I thought. I would need to paint at least 20 horses to cover these walls, tangled with men's arms and legs and armor. I wondered then what had made Jean le Viste, or Léon more likely, choose me for this work. My reputation at the court is as a miniaturist, painter of tiny portraits of ladies that they give men to carry. Praised for their delicacy, the miniatures are much in demand. I paint shields and ladies' carriage doors for drink money, but my true skill is in making a face the size of my thumb, using a few boar bristles and colour mixed with egg white. It needs a steady hand, and that I have, even after a long night of drinking at Le Coq d'Or. But the thought of painting 20 huge horses, I began to sweat, though the room was chilly. "You are sure that you want the Battle of Nancy, monseigneur?" I said. It was not quite a question. Jean le Viste frowned. "Why would I not be sure?" "No reason, monseigneur," I answered quickly. "But they will be important works, and you must be sure you have chosen what you want." I cursed myself for my clumsy words. Jean le Viste snorted. "I always know what I want. I wonder at you, though. You don't seem so keen on this work. Perhaps I should find another artist who is happier to do it." I bowed low again. "Oh, no, monseigneur, of course I am most honored and grateful to be asked to design such a glorious work. I am sure I am not worthy of your kindness in thinking of me. You may have no fear that I'll put my heart and blood into these tapestries." Jean le Viste nodded, as if such grovelling were his due. "I leave you here with Léon to discuss details and to measure the walls," he said as he turned to go. "I will expect to see preliminary drawings just before Easter, by Maundy Thursday, with paintings by the Ascension." When we were alone, Léon le Vieux chuckled. "What a fool you are." With Léon it's best to come straight to the point and ignore his jibes. "My fee is 10 livres tournois, 4 now, 3 when I finish the drawings, and 3 when the paintings are done." 5 livres parisis, he responded quickly. "Half when you finish the drawings, the rest when you deliver the paintings, and they're to Monseigneur's satisfaction." "Absolutely not. I can't work with no pay at the start, and my terms are in livres tournois." It was just like Léon to try that. Paris livres are worthless. Léon shrugged, his eyes merry. "We are in Paris, n'est-ce pas? Shouldn't we use livres parisis? That is what I prefer. 8 livres tournois, with 3 now, then 3 and 2. 7. I will give you 2 tomorrow, then 2 and 3 at the end." I changed the subject. It is always best to let the merchant wait a little. "Where will the tapestries be made?" "North. Probably Brussels. They do the best work there." North? I shuddered. I once had business in Tournai, and hated the flat light and suspicious people so much, I vowed never to go north of Paris again. At least I wouldn't have to do more than paint designs, and that I could do in Paris. Once they were done, I would have no more to do with the making of the tapestries. "Alors, what do you know about the battle at Nancy?" Léon asked.